96.7 KCAL rocks. Gosh, it's getting exciting in the sports world. We got a ton to talk about with our guy, Pep. What's up, Pep?
Man, we knew this was coming, right? When we kind of entered this pandemic and they pushed all the sports back, we knew this time was coming, that the fall and going into the winter was going to be crazy, and we're living it right now. We're living it right now. We've got NBA Finals. We got playoff baseball. The NFL is going strong, and college football is ramping up across the world. But right now, let's start with the NBA Finals. It's all set. It's Lakers versus the Miami Heat beginning Wednesday as the Lakers seek their 17th NBA championship, which is unbelievable.
I love it. As they say, get your popcorn ready.
I mean, this looks like it's probably going to be a good matchup, right? They don't really have the superstars that the Lakers have, but Jimmy Butler has been playing great, and they have a new young kid, Hero, right?
Tyler Hero.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Miami Heat, you know, if you look at the Eastern Conference, the Miami Heat was the number 5 seed. So if you would have guessed going into the NBA bubble who was going to represent the East, you probably would have said Milwaukee, maybe the Boston Celtics, the Toronto Raptors, the defending champions. Like, I don't think anyone was even talking about the Miami Heat, but here we are. The Heat are in the finals. They got Jimmy Butler, who's a star, but other than that, it's a bunch of guys who are not household names, but they're a very good team together. So they've got this team against basically a huge 1-2 punch of the Lakers and LeBron James and Anthony Davis.
They're hardworking and kind of overlooked. Like, even Jimmy Butler, yes, he's a star, but it's kind of funny. Even he jokes. He's like, man, people talk about me like I'm not a good basketball player. I mean, what the hell? I mean, he cracks me up.
Because he's not really that superstar. Right. You're going to see the storylines of, like, LeBron versus Eric Spoelstra, his former coach. LeBron versus Pat Riley. You're going to be seeing those storylines.
I love it, though. It is the two storylines of LeBron, who was like the chosen one from when he was young, and then we have Jimmy Butler, the other kind of star, the one you don't see coming, the kid sleeping in his car out of nowhere.
The one who's going to take second this year.
Hey-o!
I'll put it this way. When we talk about the best NBA players, LeBron's name is obviously in the conversation, AD, Anthony Davis. But when you talk about that short list of, like, man, who's the best players in the NBA, Jimmy Butler's name doesn't really come up. It's Giannis, it's Kawhi Leonard, it's LeBron, it's Anthony Davis, it's Steph Curry. Like, you never talk about Jimmy Butler, but he's gotten them to the finals.
That's right. Maybe that's what makes Miami dangerous.
It could be. It could be. So that'll start Wednesday, Game 1 in the bubble, Lakers and Miami Heat for the NBA championship. Now, as we transition to baseball, the first round at the playoffs will start this week with the wild card round on Wednesday, and the Dodgers will open up against the Brewers. The Padres get the Cardinals. And again, this is best of 3, so this is kind of sneaky. I think there might be a lower-seeded team or two get the higher-seeded teams because it's only best of 3. Patrick, I know you want to chime in.
This could not be any more dangerous for any team, especially like the Dodgers. Baseball's very weird and streaky. In 3 games, you could just go into a slump like that, and the best team could just play like crap. Boom, and you're out.
Yeah, if you've got 2 really good starting pitchers, that's all you basically need in this series. Like, if you win those first 2 games or win games 1 and 3 or however it works out, like, that's all you need in a 3-game series. So it's going to be very interesting to who emerges out of the wild card round, because I think, again, the Dodgers are the number 1 seed. I'm not saying they're going to lose, but what I'm saying is there could be some higher seeds going down, because in a best of 3 is a very tricky situation.
At least right now, though, we got Lakers, we got Dodgers. Get your popcorn ready.
We got Lakers, we got Dodgers, and now if the Rams and Chargers could just get things together, we'd be cruising in the city of Los Angeles. We're going to get to the NFL right now. It's all brought to you by Matheson Gas. They are the gas professionals with 3 locations across the Inland Empire, so they make it so easy to get your gas. Maybe you just want to refill that propane tank for your backyard. You need gas for your Inland Empire business. You need welding supplies. You need cooling supplies. But again, if you're going with the number 1 in the gas game, that means you are going with Matheson Gas. You can safely visit them online anytime you want at mathesongas.com. They are the gas professionals. So as we move to football here, the Rams lost to the Bills 35-32. They were down at one point 28-23 to Buffalo. And guys, what's funny is, because Twitter's always like the best thing or the worst thing in the world. So I go to Twitter with the Rams down. And remember that scene from The Waterboy, and Rob Schneider had that character, "Oh no, we suck again." All the Rams fans were like mailing it in. But like 30 minutes later, the Rams were back in it. Like they scored all these second half touchdowns. They erased that 28-3 deficit, and they were back in it. It's just so funny how football games can change so quickly. But Buffalo still won in the end, 35-32.
Well, and you bring up the dreaded 28-3 score. This could be the week we might see a head coach get fired very early on this season, with Atlanta blowing another huge lead. I mean, that was, from what I heard, that was kind of a make-or-break game for them and their team. They might start blowing that team up now.
You are so right. They were the Bills were acting like the Falcons, but then they remembered, you know what? We're actually pretty good.
Like, not one of our local teams, but watch the Falcons this week, because that could be a nice little soap opera.
I think so.
Yeah, Atlanta's like the best team that finds a way to lose right now. I don't know what it is, but they can't hold on to a lead. They can't close out a game. And again, a great point by Buffalo. They saw that lead evaporate, and then they were able to get that late touchdown throw from Josh Allen, and bang, they still pull out the win. And Buffalo's undefeated. Buffalo's 3-0 right now. So it's a wacky world we're living in.
I mean, Atlanta did manage to lose, but I will give them credit. That game at least happened to have a result, unlike my game.
Yeah, that's true. That is true.
So
Come on, bring it on.
Bring it on. Oh, I'm bringing it. So Patrick is a Seattle fan, and Seattle beat the Cowboys yesterday, 38-31, 5 touchdown passes by Russell Wilson.
And I always love seeing the Cowboys
in a wild game.
And on the flip side, when you look at 40, who's an Eagles fan, and just the NFC East in general, I won't peg Philadelphia, but when you look at the NFC East, listen, the NFC West as a total, 9 wins for the 4 teams, all right? The NFC East, 2 wins among the 4 teams. That's how bad the NFC East right now, man. It's a mess.
Why even let us play?
I know. I think Russell Wilson has more touchdown passes than the whole division.
I mean, I talk about how Atlanta's head coach is going to be under a lot of fire. If Doug Peterson didn't have that Super Bowl ring backing him up right now, he's under a lot of fire, too, for playing for the tie at the end of that game. Is a really bad look for him.
40, that is also a good point, because also who started to become under fire is the Giants coach, Mr. Joe Judge. They
look really bad as well.
In New York, Adam Gase's seat and Joe Judge's seat is getting real hot.
So if you like dumpster fires, the NFC East is where you want to be.
Oh, man, no doubt. And even going back to Atlanta, so the Falcons lost to the Bears. In 40, as an Eagles fan, we watched the Bears use Nick Foles, former Eagles legend now, to lead Chicago back to that win.
Big Richard Nick Foles.
He comes in, and I know he threw daggers, and he gave 3 touchdowns.
He did in the 4th quarter. It was unbelievable. Nick Foles time, man. So
Magic Nick.
So the Bears could be in something there with a quarterback controversy. Who knows going forward? So, yeah, again, the NFL, here we are just a couple weeks in, and there's so much drama already building amongst the teams and starting quarterbacks. And a good one tonight, guys, real quick. I just want to plug Chiefs versus Ravens, which is, on paper, unbelievable. Maybe, arguably, the 2 best teams in the NFL. You could probably make a case for that. With love to Seattle, of course. I think Seattle's going to throw their name in the mix there. But Baltimore and Chiefs, man, that's good. That's a good game tonight.
That should be high-powered, high-scoring, little defenses out there tonight.
Right. Defense is a little bit questionable with all these real good teams. Pat, tell them how to get your stuff.
That's Inland Sports. Check us out on social media. We got the Inland Sports YouTube channel talking to local athletes from the Inland Empire. That's Inland Sports.
Thanks, Pat.